Did you think you'd ever in your life run a race to pay $100,000 to win?
It's a dream like he's got it called. You know, we get to run for that kind of money being in the dirt business. Late model racing needed something like this to kind of put it back up where the sprint cars are.
If anybody can do it, Earl Boss, we figured he'd be the one to come up with the money, and sure enough, he's the man that did it. Dream come true, I guess.
Accelerating into turn 3. This is the dirt late model dream.
They were racing a little bit hard. Those laps weren't paying enough.
I drove the wheels off this thing for 100 laps.
Scott is single-handedly responsible for some of the greatest moments this facility has ever had with dirt late model racing. It's more than winning the Dream. It's you beat Scott Bloomquist at the Dream, and that was really hard to do at that time.
McDowell down low. They're side by side to the line. Off corner number 4. Brandon Shepherd wins it.
Saturday, when it's full all the way around here, it all goes away. Like everything that you feel when you're all nerved up, when you ride down through here and you see all that, it's just like, all right.
Are we ready for
I ain't shit to nobody else, but in our little world, I am somebody.
They're side by side off corner number 4. $273,000 this week for Big Sexy Brandon Overton.
Man, they ain't even talking about you. All they're talking about is that Jonathan Davenport and that Chris Madden.
Comes Brandon Overton on the outside. He'll take the lead.
Oh, my.
The winner of the dirt late model dream for the third straight time is Brandon Overton.
Eldora, I guess that's all I can say. We're going to keep fighting. We don't give up. We'll be here till the end.
That's still one I really feel like I got to check off my bucket list. Like we brought the check home, but we didn't win it.
This is what I wanted to be, the whole time I was growing up. I didn't want to do anything else. I wanted to be a race car driver.
Did you think you'd ever in your life run a race, pay $100,000 to win?
No, I still can't believe it yet.
As always, Derek, cannot thank Tim Truex enough for another unbelievable Eldora hype. I have goosebumps. I literally have goosebumps after watching that Eldora hype reel again. It was fantastic by the one and only loud pedal Tim Truex. This is your video cast for Monday, June 5th. It feels good to be back in the studio for a video cast. We only get to do about 4 or 5 of these a year now with all of our Castrol FloRacing Night in America responsibilities. Suave is doing Dirt Reporters every week. He still has Suave Talk, so he's staying plenty busy. But one thing will always ring true. If we have a big event coming up at Eldora, we will do a video cast preview. And the first big weekend, Derek, at Eldora in 2023 is here this week. Dirt Late Model Dream 29. I can remember 29. I can remember the first one like it was yesterday. Freddie Smith in that bazooka car, but nearly 30 years later, here we are. And I know, Derek, this isn't exactly the most sexy marketing term, but it's our first normal dream since 2019. Suave, there was no fans in 2020.
We had to do toilet waters by ourselves.
We did, which was great. And of course, Derek Kessinger joins me for a video cast, and our producer, Kane Runyon. As always, guys, thanks for being here. There was double dreams in 21. There was the million last year, so we've had several 4-day events in a row. We're finally back to a 3-day Eldora event with a standard format. And I think the industry needs it right now, and I am excited about a nice standard 3-day Eldora event.
Remember in like March and April when everybody's like, we're not racing, rainouts galore. Now we've kind of had like a old school Hell Tour Summer National schedule with the midweek shows of Castrol, the National Series, not getting rained out. I mean, they did at West Virginia Motor, but they were there. They competed for most of the weekend. So these guys are going to have a extra day to prepare themselves for the biggie, and I think, like you said, they're very, very happy that we're back to the old 3-day format the first time in 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. It's hard to believe. 2019, the last time. And Derek, I'm trying to think now. I'll look this up. The 3-day formats at Eldora, for a while it felt like it had just started. Now it's been going on for a decade, I think, right? 3-day formats at Eldora for the Dream of the World. It'll feel good to get back to that this weekend.
Also, I thought this was pretty cool. This is the 18th Dream by Tony Stewart.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah,
so he had more
05
than
was the first one.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy that he's on the track for that long already.
It is. As always, I have to start here. If you want to watch every single lap of the Dirt Late Model Dream live, there's only one place to do it, exclusively on FloRacing. I wonder why our promo team picked those two guys, Derek.
Well, I have a nice stat coming up for him here.
On FloRacing exclusively, all 3 days of the Dirt Late Model Dream. And really, Suave, other than the Chili Bowl, I think probably right there with the Chili Bowl, this is our biggest production on the network, not just FloRacing, on the network the entire year. Watch all 3 nights of the Dirt Late Model Dream live on Flo and Suave. If you want the peak FloRacing experience, listen, there's so many companies out there that stream now, right? So many. A lot of them are good friends of ours. But I listen, scratching our own back a little bit, the peak experience for streaming to me is our events at Eldora.
It's because Randy Weaver carries.
He's pretty good.
He's coming back. We have so many camera guys. Every single lap, we're going to have plenty of great content as well, so be sure to check that out. But I don't know, you have to have a big-time production for one of the biggest races of the year, the Dirt Late Model Dream and the World 100. But Eldora, we're going to be there a lot this year. I'm looking forward to it.
We've got the Dirt Late Model Dream. We've got the World 100. We've got the Dirt Track World Championship.
And we have the Castrol race.
And the Castrol race and the Sprint Car Million, all at Eldora this year, which is a lot of fun. We've got a really busy about next hour 10 minutes coming up. 3 times in a row, I should say. Dream winner Brandon Overton will join us to talk all things Eldora. And what's really kind of been an interesting season for him. I want his opinion on his year to date. And is this guy really going to win 4 in a row? Derek, Scott Bloomquist, 8-time Dream winner. He could never even win 4 in a row. Can Brandon win 4 in a row, you think?
Yeah, he's the only guy ever in the history to win 3 in a row. Bloomquist won him back-to-back in 17 and 18. Yeah. He's catching up to Scott. If he can get that win number 4 in 3 years because we had the double,
right.
It's pretty crazy. I'm going to ask him a question later with a great quote he had last year when he won the Dream.
Here in just a few minutes, our media roundtable will fire off as well. Our Dirt Late Model experts will break the Dream down from every single angle imaginable. Ben Shelton, Dustin Jarrett, Kevin Kovac, Todd Turner. Tell us what we need to be looking at as we head into Rossburg, Ohio this weekend. And Derek, I mentioned Todd Turner. He always brings us his insight via some very eye-catching graphics when we do Castrol FloRacing Night in America. He was gracious enough to build some of those for us. I just want to start with one right offhand. Derek, you mentioned Overton. His 3 Dream victories came in his first 7 starts. Bloomquist required 8 feature starts before winning his 3rd Dream. So the 76's pursuit of Bloomquist continues. And what else do we need to say about Dale McDowell, right, at Eldora? Dale McDowell holds the current longest streak of consecutive Dream feature starts at 15. Bab has 12 in a row, which surprised me a little bit, and JD with 10 straight. But Dale McDowell and Eldora, Derek, it does not get – he's just book him for a top 5 right now.
Yeah,
right?
He's consistent. Even if he struggles or gets in a crash, those 2 prelims, he always finds his way. He really wants to start up front in this race, though, because he's had to work his way up. I guarantee he's probably passed the most cars.
100%.
10 years, because he's right there at the very end and so close to beating Brandon Shepard there in 2019.
Matt Miller and Steve Casebold, I thought this was a good note by Todd, the only 2 Dream winners who've never had another top 5 finish in the event. That's kind of wild. And active super late model regulars with at least one $50,000 victory who do not have a top 5 in the Dream, Derek. That's a pretty good list. Mike Marlar, Devin Moran, Bobby Pierce, Ricky Weiss, and maybe the hottest driver in the country right now, Ricky Thornton Jr., who I think will probably buck that trend this weekend.
a couple of those guys on the list might be in contention for a top 5 and then maybe a victory there.
Yeah, and this one's amazing too, and I'm going to talk about this a little more in-depth later in the show. Every Dream winner except Freddie and Donnie has competed in a super late model event as recent as 2021. Man, guys race a long time in our sport.
Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if Billy Moyer shows up and maybe can make a show. Or
run a top 10, right?
Yeah, that'd be epic.
I think
you did win a prelim, though, in 2019 at the World.
He did. That's right.
He still got it.
We'll have more from Todd Turner, not only on our media roundtable, but he'll have some more graphics for us during the show. Derek, give me 3, 4, 5 of your biggest things as we head into the Dream.
All right, so we always talk about how there's like big 4 there, big 5 guys like McDowell, Davenport, Overton, McCready. I think it's only 2, Rigsby. Since the last normal Dirt Late Model Dream in 2019, Jonathan Davenport has 5 victories.
Oh, God.
Brandon Overton has 4.
Wow.
going back to 2017, only Bloomquist, T-Mac, and Shepard are the only guys that win crown jewels at Eldora. Otherwise, it's been them two. They are just flat out good there. They're going to definitely be one of the favorites headed in. So I think there's only two guys. Maybe somebody else can make some noise.
No T-Mac, no Madden. It's these guys.
Yes,
and
they really put themselves in a different stratosphere.
Okay.
RTJ coming into this weekend with 10 straight top fives and 5 victories. So he's feeling pretty
really
good. The number 1 ranked dirt late model driver. But I feel like, though, when he's ranked number 1, he doesn't get enough,
I agree.
Fired up cloud. He's always like the guy behind the scenes that no one really talks about.
And he shouldn't be. He's one of the greatest pure wheelmen in the sport. And really 5.5 victories if you count the show me, right?
And the last thing is, how important is Eldora nowadays with the Castrol, the Dream, the World, and now the Dirt Track World Championship? A lot of big paying money races at the Big E. You got to be dialed in and set up, and this is kind of the second time we're going to be here this year with Mike Marlar picking up the win after Hudson O'Neal's demise there at the Flat Tire. So you got to be good, and I don't know, you think we're going to get tired of going to the Eldora?
Never.
I think it's like 23 days I'll be at Rossburg, so I just might move in with Jonathan Bateman. You never know.
Well, you used to, back in the day, you used to try to date a sister back in the day. So
that was a lifetime ago.
That was a lifetime ago. Good call. I've got some stuff that I wanted to bring up before we get to the media roundtable. Derek, if you look at the 1994, the first Dream was 1994, the finishing order, 24 starters this year, or that year in 1994. How many of those 24 starters from 94 have made a competitive lap this year?
Well, I know Weaver made the first one, so he's one of them.
There you go.
Maybe I'm going to go with 4.
You're one high. There's 3 that have made a competitive lap this year. Scott Bloomquist, who's really only made 1 competitive lap in the Big Frog car in Florida. Darrell Lanigan, who I think won a crate race this past weekend and our Castrol Flow Night. And Kevin Weaver. So really, Derek, your guy Weaver, the argument could be made is really only the still one kind of racing all the way back from 1994. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, to make that first Dream, you had to be stoked just because it was the first one, the biggest, highest paying race to that date. So shout out to Kevin Weaver. I didn't make this stat up. Rigsby actually brought up Weaver. So be like, Derek talks about the filing and flash. It wasn't me this time. So good stuff there.
I want to mention our Road to Eldora content. You may recall last year, so let me back up for a second. The Road to Eldora, of course, for us is this extensive 3-week series that we do leading up to the World 100. We've really been, it's just so much more logistically good for us to shoot those earlier than just the 3 weeks leading up to Eldora. So we've been shooting a lot of them here in the last couple of weeks. And I've got an exciting one I wanted to tell you about that we're shooting this coming weekend at the Dream. If you'll recall last year, Derek, the day before the Eldora Million, we're on our way there.
Oh, my gosh.
For all intents and purposes, the Eldora Million was canceled last year. And when I say all intents and purposes, it was canceled. The event was not going to happen. But then Derek, Tony Stewart really dug in, and they started hauling dirt off that racetrack and realized they could have that event when they took that new dirt off, or the fresh dirt, I should say. All of that dirt, Derek, is in a pile outside of Turn 2. You, Ben Shelton, and Dustin.
We're gonna relive the story. We're gonna talk about it. How Ben was
pile.
Yeah, Ben was actually making purses for another racetrack that we were gonna have the race at. So it's gonna be very interesting. There's a lot of stuff that people don't know about that day.
We're gonna do a little mini documentary about that one day. Ben Shelton was unbelievable. That Ben had cooked up 6 different purses at different racetracks. Ben was building stuff. Ben is our go. We'd be dead without Ben.
You have boss man Mark saying, "Rigsby, get this done. We're gonna make it this size purse." It was a fun time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Last couple things. You sort of think, how could there be anybody left who hasn't ran a big race at Eldora yet? But as of this morning, Jonathan Bateman said 11 Dream rookies, Derek. 11 guys who've probably likely never competed in the Dream or the World, but the Dream for sure. How is there that many guys out there that have still never made a competitive lap in this big race? It's kind of wild to me. 11 at least, Derek, Dream rookies we'll have this weekend. And this is one of my favorite things to talk about, what I like to call the Eldora moment. There are 2 places to me in our sport where guys have breakout moments. Speed weeks, right? 20 days in a row, the entire world is watching, nothing else is racing. A guy goes to Volusia or East Bay. Whoa, he had his Speed Weeks moment. We now know who this guy is. And in Eldora, you have an Eldora moment. I remember Jonathan Davenport having his breakthrough Eldora moment back in the day. Chris Madden, Jimmy Owens having his breakthrough Eldora moment. I always want to know when I go to a big Eldora race, who's going to break out and have that big Eldora moment where we go, they are turning a page in their career, and they're having a big Eldora moment. Derek, off the top of my head, 3 guys I'm thinking. Carson Ferguson, I think, is capable this year. Spencer Hughes, who's been sneakily running better the last couple of weeks, and Dalton Wilson had that big second place at Fairbury in their Lucas Oil race. Spencer, Carson, and Dalton, Derek, I think those three guys are capable of, when we leave, going, man, they took their career from here to here this weekend at Eldora.
Yeah, Dalton Wilson so close at West Virginia Motor the other day as well. And then, of course, got passed by the best driver in the country right now, Ricky Thornton Jr. Carson Ferguson, he showed some speed early in the nights at Eldora. I think he made a show last year. Maybe he won a heat or top two.
He's a good qualifier always.
Yeah, good qualifier. So if he can maybe get that car settled in for a 100-lapper, maybe, just maybe, he can get ahead of his cousin Fergie.
Yeah. The other Fergie, right? What is there a case to be made, Carson, right? Because Chris is not racing very much. Is Carson the best Ferguson right now?
You could say that, but I don't know at Eldora because Chris Ferguson's damn good there. He's one of those guys like Chris Madden who's been so close in a lot of great top 5 runs.
I could riff all day about Eldora and the Dirt Late Model Dream. Derek and I could do that for another hour. But it is a tradition unlike any other. Our media roundtable, we've been doing it since 2007, Derek. 16 years we've been doing this, and I want to jump right into it right now. As always, we kick things off with a man who will be working pit road all weekend with a voice of Fairbury, Mike Norris. It's Ben Shelton, who I just praised a moment ago, Derek, for all the stuff he does for us. I probably don't have enough time to give him the amount of praise that he deserves. Benji, I alluded to the first normal dream in 3 years. It's weird to promote something and say, hey, it's normal. But I do get the sense that the fans and teams are ready for a refreshing 3-day Eldora big event. I think I'm right about that, aren't I, Ben?
You know, they all are, and we are too. 4 days, there can be a lot to process between making up COVID postponed events, rain delayed features, the Eldora Million. It's been, dare I say, hard to wrap your head around the format for some of these race weekends the past few years, especially for the Crown Jewels. Plus, we went from everything under the sun getting rained out in March and April, as Derek mentioned, to now it feels like we've been racing for a month and a half straight through. So, yeah, a return to normalcy at the Big E will be nice.
Benji, we talked about it a little bit. I said, hey, here's some guys I think that could break out, and have their Eldora moment. Who is not in the DOD top 25 right now? And it would be as of last week because our poll hasn't come out this week yet. Who is not in the top 25 that could show out this weekend at Eldora?
Well, the first guy that I wanted to bring up was Greg Satterley, but if he shows out at Eldora, he's going to show out in 2 different places because I think Greg now is going to support that rejuvenated Appalachian Mountain Speed Week close to home, and I respect that for him. He's been a guy that's been right there on the doorstep of getting a Crown Jewel win. So know the truth as you see him rolling on your screen. He's not planning to be there this weekend. But, Michael, you actually touched on some of the drivers that I would touch on, too. Spencer Hughes, Dalton Wilson. I feel like those are young talents that are right there on the cusp of doing something big. Carson Ferguson, he's in the top 25, so I can't pick him. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Carson on the heels of another Spring Nationals championship do something. And then, the veteran, Shannon Babb. I feel like Shannon, he's already got 5 or 6 top 5s this year. I feel like Babb is back in 2023, and I think that Shannon could do something this weekend as well.
I mean, if he had a great run, Ben Shelton, I'd be very, very excited.
You would cry.
I did. I cried when he lost, too. But how badass is it, though, to be in the infield pit reporting, hearing the crowd after opening ceremonies? Me and you are always, like, watching the heat races there. It's pretty special down there.
It is. People ask me all the time. They're like, is it weird being down pit reporting after you've been up in the booth doing Castrol shows or whatever? And, man, I'm thankful to get to do any of this. And in Eldora, don't tell Jonathan Bateman. Hope he doesn't hear it. If you said, hey, you got to clean the toilets, I might do it just to be part of the team at Eldora. But it is, man. It's electric. And then especially when you get to Saturday, from the time you pull in the parking lot, it's got an even bigger feel than normal. And, yeah, when they're going to those cars, those drivers can say what they want. But when Misha Geisert and I are down there lining the drivers up for the driver intros to go on the stage, they're kind of laughing. But, dude, you can see it on their faces. Like, they are feeling it. And, yeah, it's just special, man. And it's just so cool to get to be a part of that down there.
Benji, who is your winner of Dream 29?
Before I give it to you real quick, I just want to say I can't wait for the people to see Kevin Kovac. He looks like he's in a prison visitation center right now where he's at for this video cast. So I can't wait for everybody to see that. But hey, man, if he can keep the spoiler and all four wheels on it, I think it's Bobby Pierce. Amazingly, this one's going to blow your mind. He's only finished in the top 5 once at the Dream, and that was in 2018. And then he got disqualified in post-race tech, so it doesn't count. He only has one top 10 finish in the Dream apart from that. And this is the mind blower at Eldora. As good as he's been, his average Dream finish in 7 starts, 17.3, but he turns it around this weekend and he becomes the 9th driver to win the world in the Dream. Bobby Pierce is my winner.
I didn't see that coming, Benji. Nice pick. And I do want to tell you, by the way, Ben is one of the best Derek play-by-play guys in the country. We love having him and DJ up top, but his work in the infield at Eldora to me is just, I think Ben has become a fabric of that event. He's the puppet master, man. He controls the crowd down there, Suave.
And he's babysitting Mike Norris, so he has 2 jobs that weekend.
Which is harder, Ben, babysitting Mike Norris or controlling the crowd at Eldora?
Well, the crowd at Eldora controls me, so it's definitely controlling Mike Norris.
All right, thanks, buddy. We'll see you on Wednesday, okay?
Thank you.
I'm excited about our next guest. He joins us each and every week on Castrol FloRacing Night in America, usually from his home for our pre- and post-race show. I believe he's at the Visitation Center at San Quentin Prison right now, the way things look in the background, or it's a car dealership near his hometown. It's Kevin Kovac. Kevin, real quick, put Kevin up on the screen. Oh, man. You definitely look like you're in the conjugal visit area of a prison right now, Kevin.
Well, let's not go there, but yeah, this is a... Yeah, we are in. I was getting an oil change for my wife's car today, and they had found something in the motor, so they're checking that out. So I was here a little longer, but I have my computer. I'm in the manager's office actually, who's off today. So they're letting me stay in here for a few minutes.
They need to judge the manager's office up there. Okay, back to the Dream, Kevin. What does America need to be paying attention to as we head into Dream 29?
I think you talk about that tire rule. Remember back in September. At the World 100, they announced the big national late model tire rule for Hoosier right there in the media center at Eldora. And now this year's the first year that it's implemented, although they still can use the older LM, tires that like kind of everybody still has in their stockpile. So that they could combine them with those 1, 2, 3, 2, 3s and 4s that they have now for the national late model tire rule. But what's interesting is last year was the first year that they were allowed 3 tires. They did allow them to use the 20, 30, and 40 for the Eldora Crown Jewels, and that gave everybody an extra selection of a tire. It used to be just 20 and 40s for a while. So now with that extra tire, I think that that could hopefully prevent keep some guys coming and going, and a little more choices to get your car right for the conditions at Eldora, and hopefully that makes the race better. There's been some good races this year with teams having a little bit, that extra tire compound choice.
Kevin, I have no doubt you have 1,000 notes. Give me your best 2, 3, 4 notes. 2, 3 notes, I think, headed into the Dream.
If we do 4, it'll be here forever. So.
Okay, all right, D-Swab. One, Tim McCready, talked to him at West Virginia Motor Speedway over the past weekend. He's getting ready. I mean, he feels he's won the Dream because he won the Dream when it was the Stream that one year with no fans there. It was the same time of year, but still he has to win the Dream for $100,000. And he's going there with the car that he debuted, the Longhorn car he debuted back at the Flow race in April. Finished second with it. He hasn't run it since then, and it's unusual for him, he says, too. Usually he picks a car out and he sticks with it. He doesn't always go to Eldora with a new car or a car that's just kind of been saved for Eldora. So we'll see how he does. I mean, he's confident in it. He feels good about it, but he does sometimes like a car that he feels like a good old shoe, he says. That's a little bit different for Timmy, but I think he'll be he's had a little streak of top 5s also. So he's getting good at the right time. And also Mason Ziegler's a guy I'm going to have my eye on this weekend, I think. I mean, he's been running very well since he got in a new Rocket car a few weeks ago. He ran well at the Show Me pretty much all 3 days, had some bad luck there. But one thing about Mason, he's run that. He has 14 combined finish starts in the features for the World 100 and the Dream over the last 10 years. That's quite a bit, actually. I mean, like for a guy, there's not probably too many guys that haven't, that you don't think of as like the big favorites or something that have that many, and that's getting to be a lot of experience for Mason there. But he only has one top 10. He got an 8th back in the 2019 Dream, and that's the only top 10. Although he has that one year, you remember back,
Heartbreak
almost
City,
a decade ago when he was just starting out, he was in the mix for the win. And I think it was the year that Scott Bloomquist went to the rear, if you remember, and he tangled with Dale McGowan when he tried to make a pass to go into the lead, I think. So he's run well there. He's won a prelim. Keep an eye on Mason Ziegler. Maybe he can finally. I mean, he could be due for a real good finish there.
Kovac, like I mentioned at the top of the show, since the World 100 in 2019, 9 victories between JD and Overton. So if I give you $1 million and you can keep it if you win this bet, would you take those two or the field?
Ooh.
I want to know. Those two or the field, you get $1 million if you choose one of those, and it ends up happening.
That's a tough one. That's a good question, really. Because
it's a very good question.
I feel like Chris Madden is just so much. He's so due to finally break through there. But I think I would go with those two. I mean, those two are just so good at Eldora. I'm going with Overton or Davenport and taking my shot with those two.
All right, so perfect segue. Who's the winner?
And I'm going to go with one of them. I'm going with Brandon Overton. I think he does like one of those unbelievable, keeps an unbelievable streak going, makes it 4 Dreams in a row. I mean, that's going to be one. We sometimes like to talk about some historic things in dirt late model racing, and I think that that would be one up there. I mean, with 4 in a row in the Dream. Let's give it to Brandon Overton. I think he's ready to win it again.
All right, Kevin. Good luck getting out of prison today. I hope that Lori can come down and bail you out. Okay.
Yep.
We'll see you this week, buddy.
See you later.
The voice of Castrol FloRacing Night in America, one of the voices, the voice of Eldora Speedway's big events, and one of my very good friends in life, Dustin Jarrett, joins us now. DJ, you've called events at the Big E many, many years in a row now. What's standing out about this one, maybe more than some of the ones you've called in the past? What is it about Dream 29 that's standing out to you?
I want to first note that I'm actually in what a real office should look like, and not some sort of prison cell like Kovac was in. Now, I think you've hit on it already. It's the fact that this is the first normal Dream that we've had in almost 5 years, right? And look, knock on wood, the weather looks outstanding this week. I don't think we're going to get like 14 laps in and have to run this thing in September or something like that. But the fact that we finally have a first normal Dream so far, it's kind of what has me amped up about it. And as Ben mentioned earlier, I mean, those 4-day weeks, those are tough, man. They're tough on everyone, not just us. They're tough on the drivers, and it can start to put a dent in the fans' bank account there as well. And then the other thing that I think has me kind of jacked up about this a little bit, I really and truly firmly believe that our racing as a whole in 2023 has been better than maybe it has been the last couple of years. And I'm not sure if that is due to the tire rule or we've just gotten lucky. I don't know what it is, but I really believe that we've had better racing so far in 2023 than we've had up to this point, maybe in the last few years. So what does that hold for Eldora? Who knows? The other thing is, too, there's only been one dirt late model race at Eldora so far this year, and that was our Castrol FloRacing Night in America. Let's not forget, normally there's a Johnny Appleseed Classic leading up to the dirt late model Dream, and we don't have that at Eldora anymore. So there's been limited amount of laps on this racetrack in terms of dirt late model racing.
You know, I had this question written, and the question is written exactly like this. I say, hey, there's sort of a big 4 at Eldora now. JD, Overton, T-Mac, and Madden. Despite the fact Madden hasn't won there, I still think he's part of that group. Derek and Kovac have kind of pushed back and said, I don't know, I think it's kind of a big 2. Whether it's a big 2 or it's a big 4, are we all resigned to the fact that one of those 4 or 2 guys is going to win this thing? Does anybody else have any hope, DJ, or is it? That's it. Only one of those 4 guys.
I don't know. I mean, obviously those 4 are the big 4. I do believe that. But a guy that has been really, really good so far this year, he's got some prelim wins at Eldora that I think we need to keep our eye on, is Ricky Thornton Jr. I think if someone is going to break in there and maybe break up this big 4, so to speak, it's RTJ. I mean, you look at how he's done this year. he had that little spell where I don't want to say he was down, but maybe he just wasn't in victory lane quite as much. Well, he's gotten that back. He won those Lucas races out in Iowa at Farley and at West Burlington at 34 Raceway. He got that win at West Virginia Motor this past weekend. I mentioned he's got prelim wins at Eldora. I think if someone is going to go in there and break up this Big Four, it's going to be him. But man, that's a tough nut to crack, because anybody will tell you, and you know this already, Eldora is not an easy place to get a grasp on and to get around. It's one thing to win one of those 25 lappers there, but to go out and be that good for 100 laps, it takes a special kind of talent. I think RTJ has it. We'll see this weekend if maybe he is able to hang on for 100 laps and get himself a $129,000 payday.
I was going to do an RTJ question, DJ. Me and Rigsby kind of chat about it. How come he maybe doesn't get like the respect as like being a number one ranked driver? Obviously, when we had like Overton, Shepard, and then JD last year, they were getting all the hype. It just seems like maybe the media, and that could be my fault too, it just doesn't.
You're the media.
Yes, the rest of the media counting me. Just maybe he's not getting the respect that maybe others would here in the years past.
You know, that's a great question, and I don't know if it's because he's still a relative newcomer to dirt late model racing, right? I mean, when you think about it, Ricky has only been running a dirt late model a few years. I mean, you think back when he was kind of a super sub there for, you know, off and on for a year, whatever else, when he was subbing for Hudson O'Neal a few years back. But I mean, he's really and truly only been in a dirt late model full time for a few years now. And so that could be a big reason why he's not getting the respect. You know, maybe the other reason is, too, he's still looking for that first big Eldora Speedway win. Yes, he's won the Dirt Track World Championship. Yes, he's got some big Lucas Oil late model dirt series wins to his credit, and he's the current points leader with that series. But look, all it takes is one time, right? One time to go in and win this Dream or this World 100, and he's going to be right there.
Who wins, DJ? Dream 29 winner is?
I would love to pick Ricky Thornton Jr., but I'm not. I'm actually going to go with Jonathan Davenport. I think he's the safe bet right now. I think he's more poised this year than he's been for a while, too. Having done almost every Lucas Oil race up to this point, I've gotten to talk to JD a few different times, and I really and truly think that he's focused this year. I mean, he's told me personally, look, he said, I won the Dirt Late Model Dream on paper, but I didn't really win the Dirt Late Model Dream the year that, of course, Bloomquist was light at the scales. So I know that he's focused. He's told me that personally. I think he and that Lance Landers Motorsports team, they're as focused on this event this year as maybe they've been in a long time. I think this is the year that the Fast 49 puts it all together and is standing in victory lane at the end of the night.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. We'll see you Thursday, okay?
See you guys.
In 2007, we did our very first media roundtable, and we ended it with Todd Turner, of course, the GOAT of dirt late model journalism, the GOAT of dirt track journalism. 16 years later, 16? Yeah, I got that right. Yeah. 16 years later, Todd joins us still and now to bat cleanup on the media roundtable. Todd, you've had a chance to listen to these other three guys talk. Give me something maybe they didn't say or expound on something they said as you look forward to your Dream this year.
I appreciate him leaving me something, because there's a lot to cover, and they did well on it. But I will talk about the little rule change that was part of coming up with the signal sticks being outlawed there at Eldora, which, you know, a little bit under the radar, may not be that big a deal. But, of course, fans often see those crew guys line up on that front stretch holding signal sticks. Now they're going to restrict them to just using their hands or gloves. I assume we might see an amazing number of gloves, colors of gloves, orange, yellow, and green. I will note though that the huge video screen, which is updated in high def this year at Eldora, even better. The drivers, they get a pretty good idea what's going on when they check that out. So the signal sticks there may not be as big of effect as some other places, but regardless, we will not see any signal sticks. So we'll see if that has any effect. If there comes down to a time when somebody's trying to switch grooves and trying to get signals from their crew.
Two things I saw on Twitter, Todd. Somebody said they were going to do Michael Jackson sequence gloves is an option, and Edward Scissorhands, giant things coming off their hands with gloves. How would those rate, you think, in the glove pantheon? They did those.
I like the scissor hands. I'm going to steer clear of such a person, but I like the idea. It'd be very cool.
What interesting news, notes, and Todd Turner nuggets do you have as we head into the Dream?
So another change is they're adding a couple more spots back to 26.
Yeah.
I'm a traditionalist. I like the 24 car field. I like it, makes it more exclusive. Of course, we're not going to get back up there to the 32 we had for a couple of years at the World. So I guess I can live with the 26. We've talked about the consecutive starts, guys, a little bit. There's only 6 guys that have starts of 6 races or more consecutively at the Dream, which is a pretty small number considering all the some of the big names in the sports that aren't on that list. You talked about some of the rookies that are going to be there. One of the guys I'm looking at is Adam Stricker. He's won there in a modified. He's had some pretty good runs in the late model. We'll see if he maybe shows out as the best of those rookies. And then I will give Jesse Lay a little nod. You missed him on the first Dream. He's still out there, Mike.
Oh man, I did.
On the run. He actually was 4th in the Spring 50 this year at Florence. So his son Austin is doing a lot of the racing these days. But Jesse is still carrying his 1994 Dream flag as well.
I got so excited about Kevin Weaver being involved, Todd, that it really I knew Derek would be so excited. Jesse, I'm sorry, buddy, I did. I got that right here. Jesse finished 6th. 6th place, by the way, in the 1994 Dream, paid $4,000, Suave, if you're wondering.
There you go. Todd, with all these races now at Eldora, when you first started journalism, there was only those 2 big, or even one race, then they added the Dream. What's just your overall thoughts that we're having everything, at the Big E, and you really have to be on point every time you unload?
It's definitely a lot different than it was back in the day. I think the big thing is just the laps these guys get. So they do have a little, and with the preliminary lights, you have a little more forgiveness these days. I think, we've been into these double prelim nights for many years now, but I remember so often back in the day, people would talk about, you unloaded and had some problem in time trial or time trials, or you broke or something on the first. Your whole weekend was just, you might as well just load up and go home. And sometimes guys would. So it's different for sure. And I think we all love to go to Eldora. We all love the races, and we all joke about, maybe it's too much. And maybe it is, but I don't think anybody's complaining. Everybody's still showing up. They're still at the campgrounds and stuff. I do have a little nostalgia for if we're going to have 4 or 3 or however many huge races at Eldora. I wouldn't mind having one be the Retro 100, and we go back to one night of time trials and kind of do it old style, just to see who can do it like they did in the old days.
Todd, before I get your winner, now you've got me sucked into this 1994 Dream rundown that's got Bob Birch, Chris Patterson, Audie McWilliams, Jesse Lay, Randy Woodling, and John Lawhorn. Could there be a more 1994 Eldora finishing order than the guys that I just read right there?
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, we talked to those guys a couple of years ago when it was the 25th or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so it was interesting to catch up because some of those guys, it's a real feather in their cap to be in that first Dream.
I can't wait to see Jesse and have him punch me in the head this weekend when he sees me for forgetting him. Todd, who wins Dream 29?
Well, all these other guys chickened out on him, but I'm going with Ricky Thornton Jr. I think, obviously he's hot. He's running as well as anybody. Now his Eldora credentials are not going to stack up to your all's Big 2 or Big 4 or Big whoever. But I just think he has been on point this year. He's been so good. I'd love for it to be a showdown between him and one of those guys in the Big 4, but I'm going with the 20 RT.
And Todd in 14th in 1994, John Weasel Rhodes. Final note. So, and Jerry Rice in the ZR1 car.
He led the first 6 laps too.
Todd, I look forward to seeing this weekend, buddy. Your responsibilities are so vast now. We don't always get you to Eldora. I'm so excited you're coming back. I look forward to seeing you this weekend.
I look forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you to everybody for joining us on the Media Roundtable. Again, Derek, you're 16 of the Media Roundtable. It's incredible we've been doing it that long. We're going to step away for a quick set of commercial breaks. Big, sexy Brandon Overton on the other side, and more interesting notes from Todd Turner. We'll be back right after this.
Established in 1983, FK Rod-Ends has been the industry leader for both midget and micro racing. Family owned and operated, we take pride in our products and our name. because we know you value yours. Visit our website, www.fkrodends.com, to find out how you can join our winning team. FK Rod Ends. To beat the best, you've got to use the best.
If you want to be remembered, you got to do more than just win. You got to get them out of their seats. You got to give them the slide job, cushion pounding, no holds barred racing they paid to see. This is dirt track. That means pushing it to the edge and laying it all on the line. Yeah, you might wreck. So what? We'll help you get back out there so they can watch you try it again and again. Pit Stop USA. Live like legends.
Dirt Track Fantasy Racing is here with Dirt Draft. With action from the hottest drivers across all major dirt series, put your knowledge to the test with Dirt Draft. Sign up, draft your team, and redeem points for hundreds of different prizes. And for the first time ever, you can be crowned an official series fantasy champion. You can't play all season if you don't play today. To play, just go to dirtdraft.com or download the Dirt Draft app today. Become a fantasy racing champion.
It's been completely crazy, obviously, the transitioning period of just where we've been in the last 4 years. You know, just how far dirt late model racing's really come. And when you look at just the streaming stuff and all the different stuff that happened during the COVID year.
The sport has changed so much more as far as being competitive, more money. The cars, the technology is just pretty much out of hand right now.
We're not even doing the same things today that we did in Speed Weeks. And that's how rapidly it's changing.
And you know, 2020 is one of our more successful years we've had in forever. I don't even use that notebook anymore.
You can win one night, not make the race the next night. You can be the #1 driver in the country and sit on the stands.
Still the same Eldora, still going to be the same deal, but yes, everything has changed a lot, you know.
Some places you can be a really good driver and win. Some places you can have a good car and win, but you got to have it all there to win. And if you win it there, that just goes to show how good your program is. So that's what everyone wants.
Welcome back to our Dream Preview video cast, Derek. Just an awesome piece that you guys put together about just how rapidly things change in dirt late model racing. The two things that stood out to me there, Anthony Burrows saying, we don't even use the same stuff we used at Speed Weeks, and I think you recorded these interviews
Jimmy
in
Owens
May.
too.
And Jimmy Owens said, you know, he had that unbelievable 2020 season. He goes, I don't even look at that notebook anymore. The fact that things can change that fast is staggering to me.
Yeah, just the evolution of the dirt late model world. It's getting, more competitive. Drivers can buy up pretty much anything now. Everybody's on an even playing field.
We'll have Brandon Overton on here in a second. Before we do that, we just heard from Todd Turner. We have more graphics from Todd that I wanted to show up, more tidbits on the Dream. Active drivers and expected entrants with a single top 5 finish in Dream history. Bab, Turbo, and Kyle Bronson, Derek, who's running pretty well right now, had that awesome race at Tri-City. Congrats to Kevin and Tammy Gundaker on that unbelievable Outlaws race this past week. Repeats, 2 drivers have back-to-back Dream victories over the past 6 seasons, Overton and Bloomquist. No driver has won back-to-back World 100s, Derek, since, get this, Donnie Moran all the way back in 1997. So despite all of JD's success, 5 World 100s,
every other year.
He's never won it back-to-back.
Nope.
Chris Madden, oh, man, the storyline that is very, very well documented. Madden has the most top 5 finishes, 5 in Dream history without winning. Madden's Eldora struggles. I shouldn't say struggles. His lack of winning. He's run good there.
And our guest here in a few seconds was probably happy because he passed him there on that late restart to get the win last year. Big, sexy Brandon Overton. And they had that little scuffle early in the year.
That's right. It's been 4 years, Sheppy, in 2019, since a driver not named JD or Overton has been on the victory stage for the Dreamer World. That is wild. And no driver has won more than 1 Dream Scramble race in the 9 years of the non-coveted non-qualifiers dashes. Listen, Todd's disdain for the scrambles.
I actually looked it up. We had the last ones we had were in 2021.
Yeah, they were
and Frank
terrible.
Heckenast Jr. won the last one, I think.
The scrambles were terrible, and thank God they're gone. I hated them.
Well, I think the last ones, then they say you could start the show. I don't know. They did something crazy like that.
I love
Who
when
knows?
Todd put non-coveted, meaning nobody wanted to win them. It pays to play the Dream's 5,020 $129,000 last place purse is the second highest in the sport, behind only $5,300 at the Silver Dollar Nationals. Todd Turner, thank you again. We'll have one more of those before the end of the show. We all know that Scott Bloomquist is certainly, and very rightfully so, considered the king of the dirt late model dream. Derek, how many titles does he have?
9.
Is it 9 or is it 8?
8 or 9.
I think it's
Who knows?
8.
Too
I
many.
think he's got a lot of dreams, right? And by the way, he's finished second twice and third twice. And Derek, he was DQ'd when he won one other one. Basically,
So 9. Cross the finish line first.
Right, 9 where he's crossed the finish line first. That was the no green light year. But we really have to shine a light on what Brandon Overton has done. Derek, 3 straight dirt late model dream wins, including the full sweep of all 4 nights of racing 2 years ago. I'm not saying Overton is now...
You're going to make him blush.
I'm not saying Overton is now the owner of this event, but what he's done has never been done, and in my opinion, likely will never be done again. So can he do it for a 4th straight dirt late model dream? Let's ask him now. Joining us on the Integra Shocks and Springs hotline is the Evans, Georgia driver. Brandon, before we get going, I want to play a clip for you first, Brandon. I think you'll be able to hear this clip. If you can't, I'll explain it to you after. This was after Derek his dream last year, right?
Yes.
So, Kane, play this clip. Brandon, I want to play it for you first.
My daddy, he was on top of the trailer before the race, and he's like, man, they ain't even talking about you. All they're talking about is that Jonathan Davenport and that Chris Madden. I said, that's good. That's perfect. I don't want them to talk about it. I love it. That's what we want them to do. So I know he's probably tickled to damn death over there. So it is what it is.
Brandon, were you able to hear that clip that I just played?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay. I never did get a chance to ask you, was your dad tickled to damn death after maybe you feel like you were getting slighted a little bit in the dream? How excited was he?
He was. It's kind of funny. I think it was maybe Mike Knuckles or something. I think he sent me some videos of my daddy on top of the trailer, like jumping up and down when I was about to pass whoever it was. But yeah, he's been a big part of my career. You know, like I always say, I wouldn't be here without him. Him and my mom both, they sacrificed a lot to get me here. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to win them, but to get out and see them and my fiance and, you know, my car owners and everybody, like, that's more special to me than anything.
Our dream hype reel, Brandon, that we put together, your genuine love for the place comes through. Like, I can hear you when you talk about Eldora, how much you love it. It's a clip you and Derek are walking around the track on one lap, one beer, and you describe what it's like pulling around Eldora when it's capacity and it's full. You're kind of pulling your car out for drivers' intros. And I know this is such a softball question, but I don't think I'll ever stop asking these questions to guys like you. What is it like being at Eldora, pulling that car around that place in that moment? What is it like to do that?
I don't really know if there's the good explanation for it. You know, just as much as we race, the butterflies and stuff kind of go away, and that's one of the places we go to where when you roll out there, you're like, shit, you know, this is it. You know, everybody's here, and it feels good to feel that every now and then, you know. And we go to a lot of places, and it's still the only one that makes you feel that way. So I know I'm not the only one, but like I said, it's so special, so cool, and we just all love going over there. The track is awesome almost every year, you know, besides the one year when it was rough as hell. But like I said, it's just a special place for all of us, and like I said, it's one of my favorite races to go to of the year.
Brandon, that, you know, quote about your dad is phenomenal. But after the race, the dream last year off camera, you told me, we were kind of just BSing like we always do, and I was like, man, you're just as good as JD here, and you're like, you know what, Suave, I can keep winning these dreams. He can have the World 100s. I just thought that was very funny, but just shows what the dream means, you know, money wise and just the history of racing.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously for me, especially this year, we've won 3. So to win 4, it's obviously the one that I would want to win. If we don't win the world, who cares? We're gonna put all of our you know, focus on this one and try not to do nothing dumb or think about it too hard to mess us up. But yeah, we're here today. We drove all the way back from West Virginia, here today working, trying to make sure everything's right. And yeah, just try to get over there in enough time where we can relax and chill out and be ready.
Now, hang on a minute, Brandon. Who cares on the World 100? I don't know that I like who cares attitude. This is the globe we're talking about here. Maybe not who cares.
No, I know. It is. I mean, like I said, they're all special. It's just Like I tell y'all, I didn't think I'd ever win one. So to win, 3 Dreams and a World. If I go back over there and we don't ever make another race, like obviously I'm going to be disappointed. But there's so many good drivers who haven't won either, So like I said, I'm just grateful for what I've been able to do, and if we're supposed to win, we will.
We've talked about this during our preview a little bit so far today, Brandon. We've kind of got what I think fans consider a big four at Eldora. Obviously, you and Jonathan, who have dominated there, T-Mac. And, despite the fact that Chris Madden has not won a finale there, he is just perpetually in the mix. I think those are kind of the top 4 Eldora guys, top 4 contenders. Why do you think the 4 of you have separated from everybody else? What is it about your driving styles or the way you guys handle race cars at that place that have kind of set you guys aside from everybody else?
Well, it's 100 laps. That's the biggest thing. You can, I think everybody you just mentioned, me, Matt, and JD, all from the South, 100 laps trying to save your tires. We probably thank Cherokee for that, but just trying to save your tires or save your equipment and not panic is the biggest thing. I think just being calm in the race car, I think that's the biggest thing, and just being smart, learning from your mistakes in the past. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I got to watch JD and Madden the whole time I was growing up. Like it would get so aggravating. I'd go lead these races and then they come blowing by me, So that's what I feel like it sucks so bad to get beat by them that I just took it all in and soaked it all in. And it's like, God, I got to quit making these same mistakes. And, just race long enough now. I've got more confident with my, setting my car up and making sure I have it right for the longer races and just being smarter as a driver, really.
You've got 7 wins this year. Now, listen, so it's not like it's been horrible, right? There's a lot of guys that would kill for 7 wins, but I know you well enough to know, maybe not as warm and fuzzy about a 7-win season on June 5th as you normally would be. Is that fair to say that, hey, we've got 7 wins, but I don't exactly feel great about the season we've had so far?
Yeah, we've been fast sometimes. We're just not consistent, but I said, man, I'm down here in my area winning races. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I should win a bunch of races when I race around here. Not that, everybody sucks around here. It's just I've grew up around here and I've got good equipment now and I got a good team. You take me out of my comfort zone, I'm not as confident in our adjustments or what we're doing or what even I'm supposed to feel sometimes. So to go run and finish on the podium, like we haven't been terrible. We've run good. So yeah, obviously it sucks not winning, but at the same time, the big picture is for this year is to just stay in that top 4 until we get to Eldora and hopefully we got a little luck on our side and we can win that thing. So I'm just trying not to do anything stupid. Steadily working on our car to get a little bit better, especially places that I haven't been to. So yeah, I mean we're all right. I feel like it's about to get hot and the tracks are going to get slicker, and then I always feel like I do better at the end of the years than I do at the beginning anyway.
All right, no sticks this year, Big Sexy. How are you going to handle it with a team? Do you need to get you some specially made gloves, or do you even use a stick guy? And I know that your boy Larson, we've been calling him Sticks here lately. He's probably very happy with this rule.
Yeah, it is what it is. Somebody will figure something out. They'll have lights in the car, or somebody be raising hell about this or that. But yeah, it ain't no big deal. Like, I mean, I'm obviously I'm cool with not having sticks. It's just. It sucks when, like I said, when it plays that big of an outcome on the race. But if nobody has sticks, that's fine with me. They're still going to be signaling through the fence. Somebody's going to figure something out. So probably have a good idea where everybody's at.
Hey, I can get a hot air balloon and I can, sit above the racetrack and give you some signs if you want me to.
Yeah, tell me where they're at, Swell.
You mentioned Kyle Larson. Last couple of things, Brandon. Derek, you mentioned him. Larson and I were texting. It was late one night, like after midnight. We were arguing sprint car racing and late model racing, as he and I often do.
He was wrong.
But he's often wrong about this topic. But we were talking about the best personalities in each division. And one thing, Brandon, he said about you, he said, without question, you are the best personality in late model racing, period. He said the way he interviews, the way he laughs, how genuine he is. Brandon, one thing I love about talking to you is that you're so genuinely yourself. You don't put on. Where did that come from, man? Because you've become to me the best interview in all of dirt late model racing. I kind of like to trace that back. Where did that come from?
Really, I don't. I don't know. I honestly, when y'all used to come talk to me, I'd be scared to death, like I didn't want to talk. And finally, I just was like, damn, I gotta. If I say something wrong or stupid, who gives a shit? Like I'm over it. I'm just gonna say what comes off. First thing I think of, I'm gonna say it and hurry up and get them out of my face because I don't want to do anything wrong, you know. So yeah, I honestly don't know. I just am who I am and say what I feel, and if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And you know, I've come to realize no matter what I do or what I say, somebody's not gonna like it, you know. So I'm just gonna be me and do what I've always done and keep on going.
Swaff, he's the best interviewer, right now. I mean, listen, we all love Turbo, and Turbo's great too. And Turbo, I also think, is genuinely himself. They're different styles, but I think Brandon's the best interviewer right now,
Yes,
Derek.
he is very good. The D-Swab training class has really helped him here the last
You're
few
taking
years.
credit for the quality of Overton's interviews?
I like BS with Big Sexy, but I'm just glad that he came to Illinois and raced here in May. That was kind of exciting.
We still got to get it. Quickly, let's touch on that. There is a bull ring win left in you, right, Brandon? You got one left in you, don't you?
Yeah, I hope so. I enjoy coming. I really do. I just need to come live with Swab and bring my rig for about a month and just race around Illinois and follow Weaver around and maybe I'll get some tips.
I will crew chief for you. Have you been working in your golf game? We got to get a championship here in July too.
I'm heavy relying on y'all. You know, glad you put me in the group chat so I can see the boys practicing up. I think y'all got a handle.
All right, good.
Brandon, last question. If not you, if not JD, if not Madden or T-Mac, take you four out. Be an analyst for a second. Who's going to shine this weekend at Eldora? Who are you got your eye on that could run good outside those big four?
Ricky Thornton. He's been honestly, he's been the best car I feel like everywhere we've been. What's the reason I say it too, not only because he's been fast, but his car just, my car looks a certain way. JD's car looks a certain way. We all have a certain driving style, and Ricky's car doesn't like any of ours. So whatever they're doing, they got a little program that's fitting them, fitting the new tires. And but I've always said it, like, no matter how bad of a year you're having, you could go to Eldora and the guys that are good always seem to come back to the top. So, but yeah, if anybody's going to do good or it's there to, just like I said, I feel like it's Ricky's time right now. Like, he's been working hard the last couple of years. They got an awesome team. I just feel like things are going his way. So yeah, he's if it's not us or like I said, it's probably gonna be him.
Do you have any of that? Do you have a little Ricky Thornton left in you, Brandon? Like, I'll go race anything, anywhere, anytime, or you kind of moved past that point in your career? He's running a micro sprint. He's running a modified. Do you still have a little bit of that in you, or are you like, I don't need all that anymore?
No, I would love to. It's just hard to get in. It's hard for me because I'm here. Like, I do all my own setup, so I'm constantly during the week working on shock, especially when I'm not running good. So I'm in here pounding my head in the shot room trying to figure out what to do to make me go faster. So I really don't have time, but I would love to go jumping, good equipment with somebody who knows what they're doing and let me drive it. Like I said, it's just the way my situation's set up. I have to kind of oversee this whole program down here, and this is what I get paid to do. So obviously I got to give 100% to this and whatever. Like I said, I'd love to do it. I just don't have the time.
Suave, he is going for an unprecedented 4th straight dream title this weekend. It sounds like he might be moving in with you one of these summers. You are married now, so I don't know how your wife's going to feel.
We have plenty of space for him. We got the golf course is close by, pool close by. We'll have a great time, and then maybe we can just hire Weaver as your crew chief also.
That'd be good, Kevin.
I mean, that guy knows everything in this this area. I think he would dominate.
He's speechless to that.
Yes,
he can't even recover from that. Brandon, I appreciate it, buddy. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you at Eldora, okay?
All right, boys. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. We're going to take our last commercial break. We're going to back a little more dream factoid information and our final thoughts. And I've got a statistic, Derek, that I think is going to blow people's minds coming up after the break.
In the market for custom race shirts? Struggling with who to call? Look no further. Impact Race Gear's team of top-notch artists at Next Level Printing make it easy to see that Impact Race Gear has the right combination for simply awesome race shirts. We provide shirts and merchandise for the entire motorsports industry, from late models to sprint cars to modifieds, dirt or asphalt. Just take a look at the top drivers and teams that trust Impact. And it doesn't take long to understand why Impact Race Gear is the easy choice. Be sure that your fans, sponsors, and supporters get the products they deserve. When you need the best, it's gotta be Impact Race Gear. Give us a call, 877-743-8337, or visit ImpactRaceGear.com to get started on your Simply Awesome race shirts.
I'll just put it this way, we'll be back. With the hard work of Mark Richards and all the people at Rocket, we'll be back.
Your opening night winner at East Bay Raceway Park is going to be Tyler Erb. Ashton Winger gets it done on a Tuesday night at East Bay. But it's going to be the Reaper out of Marshalltown, Iowa. His first career win in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And it's going to be Hudson O'Neal getting his first win. Back-to-back winner at East Bay Raceway Park. Hudson O'Neal wins it. $20,000 later, Alligator. Hudson O'Neal wins it at one.
Boy, Brandon Shepard's got to keep it out of the wall. McDowell starting to close on that bottom. Down the main straightaway. 2 to go in the Dirt Late Model Dream.
2 laps remaining, 0.8 of a second, the advantage for Brandon Shepard. Does McDowell have anything for him, James Essex?
Here they go into 3. White flag. McDowell digging hard. McDowell digging hard down the straightaway. 1 to go for $125,000, Dustin.
Final time around, McDowell is right there. Brandon Shepard trying to hang on and get the first Eldora Crown Jewel win for the Rocket House Car team. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. McDowell down low. They're side by side to the line. Off corner number 4. Brandon Shepard wins it. What a finish in the Dirt Late Model Dream. McDowell spins to a stop, and Brandon Shepard by 5/100ths of a second.
Still an incredible finish. 2019, right, Derek? I believe the Dirt Late Model Dream in 2019.
I was stoked.
The Rocket One's only major Eldora win there ever, as far as the house car driver goes. Almost impossible to believe that was a near photo finish that night with Dale McDowell and Brandon Shepard. Because Sheppy had a lead, and Dale McDowell does what Dale McDowell does.
Yeah, it started to get
bottom.
that black streak at the bottom, so he was closing in hot and just fell short. But he did, win a dream a couple years prior to that to, say that he got on the victory lane stage after he was declared the winner with bad light.
Which feels like a long time ago. We have a bonus Todd Turner graphic. Of course, Brandon Overton, like I said, he's won 3 dreams in a row, going for 4. Todd put this together. I love it. Longest consecutive winning streaks for select late model events. Like Todd said, hey, there may be one out there I don't know about. But Derek, high-profile late model events, longest consecutive winning streaks. How about Bob Waring Sr., 73 to 76, getting 4 hillbillies in a row? Ooh. Show Me 100. Jimmy Owens was dominant there.
Oh, my gosh. He was
right after 2010, of course, Bloomquist as well. Brandon Overton's current dream streak at 3. Billy Moyer, the USA Nationals, the National 100, Scott Bloomquist. The PDC swab, the old PDC, when Bob Pierce won 3 in a row from 99 to 01.
Mopped him up. He was very good there in the early 2000s.
You see there on the right, too, the Stanley Shrimptoff Memorial. Gary Stuhler, the pizza-less Gary Stuhler, winning 5 in a row. Michael Page, Derek, that Ice Bowl streak, unbelievable. Jason Fager loves Paducah. We know that. He won 4 straight World 50s at Paducah. You see some other ones there as well. Illinois, Derek, I do love the Illinois Fall Nationals. Moyer on the mile at Springfield from
big
95 to 97. No driver, I love his note in the bottom left, no driver has won the world or dirt track more than twice in a row. No driver has won back-to-back at the Topless or Firecracker ever. in the history of
So
the sport.
we're expecting T-Mac not to win this year at the Firecracker.
I guess not.
With history
right?
showing. Maybe he'll be the first.
I guess not. Derek, give me your final thoughts now as we wrap up our video cast and head into Dream 29.
Yeah, so we're talking about the favorite heavy hitters, the big four. 3 of those guys are in Longhorns, which makes them feel pretty good because they've won 10 straight Eldora Major Crown Jewels. Brandon Shepard was the last non-Longhorn driver to win it. So I feel like JD, Overton, and T-Mac, with the history of those race cars, are pretty good there at the Big E. Brandon Thurley making his return to the Dirt Late Model Dream for the first time in over a decade. I kind of just wanted to bring him up that Kyle Busch will be driving one of his cars at the Wood Tick, early August. So I thought that kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit. So that's pretty cool
Live
as well.
on Flow.
Yes.
Yeah, the Wood Tick will be
and this
year.
What was the last one here? Let's see. We have 2 Australians entered. Brett Vosbergen and Kai Bly.
Yeah, Kai. Kai's fun. Vosbergen is too, but Kai's a wheelman. He's like an Illinois guy.
Yeah, he won that heat race there a few years ago.
Yeah, he was crying. He was pumped
so he's
up.
stoked. They're very friend of the program. So 2 Aussies. Let's see if one can maybe can make their first Dirt Late Model Dream. Those are my notes.
I love that. I got a few as well. Jonathan Bateman, who one of my great friends in life, so many operational things he runs at Eldora. He let me know this morning, Derek, 39 states and 3 countries have purchased tickets to the Dream 29.
You think Illinois bought any?
What's that?
Illinois bought any.
There's, I think, a couple. Our parents, maybe. That's about it.
Okay.
I think, Derek, other than the World Finals and the Knoxville Nationals, the Dream and the World have to be up there as far as states covered, right? World Finals for sure, Knoxville Nationals for sure, Chili Bowl, those 3, Eldora right there with those guys, you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just because you have the sprint car factor and the Northeastern guys coming down to Charlotte, that's definitely a good call out there.
And Chili Bowl, obviously.
Yeah.
Highest Dream car count ever. Do you know what it is?
I don't think they ever got to 200.
It's not going to be this year. Let's just be clear. I think 75 cars or so this year.
149.
178 cars, Derek, in 1997. 178
Who won
in 1997.
I know it.
Donnie Moran.
No. Jimmy Mars, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's the Mars. Yeah, that's right.
Bill Fry incident.
He won the USAC. He won 96. He won USA Nationals in 96. And then, that's the Bill Fry Bloomer year 97. Yeah, shame on me for not answering that. And then, Derek, to me, something that's not getting talked about near enough.
This is crazy.
Unless it's a surprise in the final moments that I don't think we're going to get the surprise. For the first time ever, the Dirt Late Model Dream started in 1994. For the first time ever, Scott Bloomquist will not enter the Dirt Late Model Dream.
That is bananas. Crazy. Speechless.
Listen, tweet me or whatever if I have this statistic wrong, but we went back through. He's had a couple of DNSs, did not start because of something that happened. His suspension the one year was the World that he missed because he went and ran a mod at Deer Creek or up there at Mississippi Thunder, I think. I believe this is the first time ever that 0/18 car will not have entered the Dirt Late Model Dream. Derek, this is kind of a milestone moment. The guy that's been the face of Dirt Late Model Racing forever in 2023 for the final time will not enter the event.
But it is Bloomer.
So that's why I'm
never
saying,
know.
right?
And if there's one track that, if he hasn't raced all year and he just competed at one track every single year, this would be it. Obviously, he started on the pole there 2 years ago.
Yep.
You can still get around that place pretty good, but yeah, it's just kind of like another passing of the torch. We have the hotbed, like the 90s, me growing up as a kid, all those guys are, slowly fading out. And as you mentioned, only 4 guys from the first Dream are still kind of, had competitive laps. So this is just another passing the torch. But Bloomer and Eldora,
well, that's the thing. I'm saying this now.
Just think of all the crazy memories, moments.
Oh, well,
it's ridiculous.
It's insane. And we will do a retro documentary on his Eldora time. But when you think about that and you look at his curiosities at Eldora over the year, would it really shock you Thursday at 5:00 you hear Essex go, what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
If that happened.
Pulling over the hill in turn 3, oh my God, it's Scott Luke. I wouldn't be shocked Thursday if we saw
Tim
that.
Truex, you listening, I will run my butt off and get a video of that. So we'll be good.
But we'll see. We'll see. Right now, I don't expect him there, but we'll see. Be the first time he's never, ever entered the event. Don't forget, if you want to watch the Dream live all 3 days, one final plug, Kane Runyon, if you could, the only place to watch it is right here. Not the Sprint Car Million. There we go, the Dream. We'll get to the Sprint Cars in a second, Kane. This weekend, the Dirt Late Model Dream. Pay no attention to the July 8th through 10th there. The Dirt Late Model Dream coming up this weekend. You can watch it live only on Flow. I about said Dirt on Dirt on FloRacing this weekend. Dream Live. Now, Kane, to the Sprint Car Million. There it is. The Eldora Sprint Car Million, the highest paying dirt track race of all time. Don't forget, we're talking Eldora, Derek. You're going to be at the Sprint Car Million this year. This is exciting.
Yes, going to be doing some Road to Eldora stuff with Ben Shelton and just kind of, getting some content there. I think that's going to be a great time there. Hopefully we get the ballroom.
Do you have a prediction for the Sprint Car Million, Kyle Larson?
Anybody but Larson. He don't need to win a million. Let's go Overton. He's so good there.
I'm sorry, you think Brandon Overton is going to be in the sprint car?
I would be talking junk for days if the late model guy won.
If that, or like Ricky Thornton Jr. won the Sprint Car Million, you'd tweet it for every day for a year.
I'm just saying the open wheels, arguably biggest event ever is the Chili Bowl. A late model guy has won that. No sprint car guy has won the big.
That's true.
So I think we're a little bit better.
That's a really
Though
good
Larson
point.
did win it.
July 12th and 13th. It's a Wednesday, Thursday, Eldora Sprint Car Million. That's it for us. Derek Kessinger, of course, Kane Runyon, our amazing producer, Todd Turner, and our entire media roundtable that joined us. Man, I have been to virtually to every dirt late model dream in my life. So this is a special weekend for us and the entire company. Please tune in this weekend. Check out everything we've got going on. Special surprises. And Randy Weaver, Derek, back in the house this weekend as one of our pit reporters as well.
He's great. He gets that inside, the knowledge of how the race cars are going to handle and what the track's going to be like. He's been a very good addition to the show.
For Kane Runyon, for Derek Kessinger, I'm Michael Rigsby. It's Monday right now. We'll have this posted later today on FloRacing and Dirt on Dirt. We will see you Thursday for the Big E. Until then.